Hello there, this is Sammy33, and I'm going to try to do this in 10 minutes. So I'm wishing myself good luck on this. I get this question a lot of late, the last couple of weeks. What is the NDL? So I'm going to make a video so I can try to explain this the best way I can. I mean, I try to explain it every time someone asks, but I figure maybe a video just to document this would probably be better. I could just send you the link. We'll see. So, what is the NDL? NDL, the NCAA Dynasty League. You can see right there. It is not the type of dynasty that you think it is. When people think of a dynasty, they're thinking of what we have in franchise with Madden or what we have in NCAA right now or college football, quote unquote, what we have right now, where people are just joining a dynasty and it's played online. This is very different. You're capped out at 32 coaches, players in NCAA. This is a full 134 team league. So there is a coach for every team. The schedule, everyone's playing their full schedule, everyone's assigned a team. You're just playing these games versus a friend in terms of what you're going on the game. That's what you're looking for. So, man, it's a lot of stuff, isn't it? It's a lot of people, a lot of personalities, a lot of play styles. How does this all work? Well, let me show you. First, we're going to go here to Western Michigan. I took this team over. So keep in mind, while I played some games, the recaps aren't posted for everything. I'm still getting caught up. But this is my team. So I took over Western Michigan at 1-1. Not sure who the owner was before, but that owner played the first two games. So you have win and a loss. So unfortunately, I took him over at 1-1. I'd like to take over a pure team, 0-0. I just like everything to be mine. That's cool. But I was unaware that this league was coming back. I'd like to thank Sean for letting me know because that led me to getting signed up. You have your schedule. You have the conference schedule that is set. They alternate home and away. So we play 3 seasons per game cycle. Home and away alternates. But your out of conference schedule, which I can't really show you right now because it's locked, is made by the owners. So during the off season, you're actually NCSU homie, great dude, the tech guy for this league, has a system built in where we can send invites for week 1 or week 2, week 13, whatever open week we have to try to schedule a game. Most people schedule games against people that they get along with, their friends in the league. Nice friendly rivalry, or people that you just enjoy playing against. It could be a good game. It could be someone that you talk to a lot on the message boards, or I guess now in Discord. Or if you're pushing for a championship, maybe you're looking for something to help enhance your chances with big wins against good schools. Who knows? Do whatever you want. But just kind of show you what we're looking at here. So I played Ball State. The video went up earlier today with the recap. So for every game, we have to do old school style, what we did in League Daddy back on the PS2. Literally had the TV right next to the computer. Put in the team stats. Usually the winner's responsible for that, but whoever does it. So whatever, works for you. And then you have to put in the player stats. The player stats will show you why that's important here in just a sec. So you can see my opponent put in his stats. I put in my stats. Don't know who that is. That should be Haley, so I'll have to look and change that. But we put in stats and you see pass, rush, receive, offensive line, defense, kicking, punt, kick return, punt return, no punt returns because no one played defense in this game. And that's pretty cool because at the end of the season, you have the conference All-Americans, which I believe the conference commissioners, if I remember right, select those and you have all the stats to see. But you have all of this, like we're putting this in, you're doing a recap of the game. I haven't posted the link yet, but you can see my opponent put this in, kind of giving a background or just like a snippet of how the game played out. Cool stuff. So you have this for every game. Why does this matter? I'll show you here. Statistically, it's important because you can look at team stats, player stats, because you have all 134 teams. You can see offensively what we rank at in each category, conference and in the entire NDL. Same thing defensively. Pretty cool. So you can see where you're ranking across the entirety of the league or just within your conference. And then you can look at your player stats individually. It takes a little bit longer to load because player stats, but you can see. I do have to add in Haley because that first game I didn't notice that it didn't have his name correct. But you see carries, yards by carry or by contact on average, and then no wait, yards after contact and then yards by carry. Get that right, Sam. Same with receiving, and you have all this stuff. So you can see this for your team, you can see it for every team. Pretty cool, right? Awesome stuff. Coach reports, which leads into coach contracts. Let's probably go over this first. So every team has a coach contract that they have to sign. And one thing that's super cool about this league, sportsmanship is a big deal in this league. Sim style league, the rules, there's some rules that are like hard set, but there's some rules where there's some flexibility to them. In general, you just don't want to play lobby ball. No cheese ball, no abusing the AI, no nano blitzing, anything like that. Just trying to have a nice clean game, mix up your play calling, all that stuff. If you do that, you should be fine. So the coach contract, graded on a scale of 0 to 100. So Western Michigan's overall rating is 80. They are a B minus. In order for me to not get fired, I have to score at least 80 points. So let's look into that. 40, 40, 20. The first 40, participation. So what we are expected to do, every block, a block is 2 weeks. We are expected to vote in the top 25. So the coach poll is each individual coach voting. The media poll will be the conference commissioners. So we all vote and then the results are released. Statistical entry. Putting in your stats. So putting, the team stats are in there, your player stats are in there. Do that, cool. Game recap. Putting up a recap of every game. As I just showed you with Ball State, you could put up like a little article, a paragraph. Some people, like me, will do recaps, videos. Some people do press conferences. Some people do whatever, like just something just kind of describing what happened in the game. Don't have to get super crazy. It gives you creativity to do it however you want to do it. Good stuff. So you do that, and you can see down here how many polls did you vote in, how many coach reports have you done, how many stats have you entered through games, and then recap. Add that all up. If you do everything, that'll get you 40 points. Cool. Also of note, if you do anything extra for the league, if you look at my, really go back on the YouTube channel, you'll be able to see that I did stuff in terms of like block recaps for the NDL way back in the day, like late PS2, early PS3. Good stuff. Extra participation points. Anything you add to the league, doing articles, doing coach interviews, whatever, just adds to the league. It adds to the substance of the league, extra stuff to look at. Keeps people engaged. It's good stuff. You get bonus points. Coach reports. Gameplay. Your variety. So every game, and I'll show you, you're going to vote or give your opponent a score. So the highest score gets dropped, the lowest score gets dropped, and then everything else is averaged out to give you a score. Think of it like taking a quiz. If you just had a class of a bunch of quizzes, drop the highest score, drop the lowest score, take the average of everything, and then multiply it out to get to 40 points. So if you don't do anything bad, you shouldn't have a problem. One thing to note, if you give anyone less than a 5, I believe it defaults to 5. If you give anyone less than a 5, you need to explain why. So it leaves comments in there and I'll show you. So you're great on a couple things. Your offensive play and formation variety. Are you mixing up your play calls? Are you mixing up your formations? Sure, we all have plays we like to run more than others, but are you not running those plays the entire game? You just mixing things up, making it fun. Same thing with defense. Defense is a little bit harder. I talked about it on stream. Cover 2, yes, there's variations of cover 2, but cover 2 ultimately, and for the most part, is cover 2. You have invert, you have Tampa 2, you have hard flat. There's variations, but are you mixing up your cover 2s? Are you mixing up cover 3s? Are you not running man the entire game? You're mixing up stuff. As long as you do that, you should be fine. Realism. Realism is kind of the tricky one. Like, where does realism fall on the scale for you? Are you doing things like you're not running play action on 3rd and 30? Probably not realistic to do that. Are you not coming out and running four verticals every play? I mean, I guess that goes with offensive play, formation variety, but no one's going to be sending in receivers on streaks the whole game. I guess stuff like that. Do you know and follow the rules? Literally just following the rules. That's it. And then overall grade. And then you have your highest, lowest, remaining, blah, blah, blah. And then this gives you 40 points. Now, wins and losses do count to some extent. This makes up to 20 points at the end, season success. So, you have your win goal. My win goal is 10. Western Michigan is rated an 80. Every game on this schedule, you can see, is a +1 because they are rated higher than the other team. The problem is, or I guess maybe not the problem, the benefit is the highest your win goal can be is 10. The lowest your win goal can be is 2. So, there is some flexibility in there, and you might I can explain why you might do some certain things here, but ultimately my win goal is 10, so I need to win 10 games. I can assure you that I'm not, because I already have 3 losses. That means the max I can win is 9, so I'll fail to meet that. That's okay. I'll try to get as close to it as I can. Rivalry games, if you were to have looked at my schedule, Central Michigan and Eastern Michigan, they have their rival the trophy at the end of it, so those are both rivalry games. It's the last block of the season. That should be very fun, let me tell you, because that'll be stressful. 2 rival games. Thankfully, though, they're both are they at home? I don't know. I'll have to look. But 2 rival games, that counts, and then conference success. It's not added just yet, but there should be a conference goal. So it could be win your division. It could be play in the conference championship. It could be win 3 games. It depends on what the team's rating is. So it's something somewhat realistic. And then you sign it. So at the end of the season, you're rated 0 to 100. And depending on what your team's overall rating is, will depend, their grade, depend on if you get fired or not. So if you get fired, we'll talk about that in a sec. But if you score high enough, so Western Michigan's a B-, that should be an 80. In order for me to keep this team, I need to score 80. If I score 80, I have the opportunity to keep the team. So then we have a draft. I mentioned that we play 3 seasons every game cycle. We have a draft. If you are able to keep your team and you choose to keep it, those teams are removed from the draft. You stay in. Obviously, we can all see who stayed. Cool. Then you have the draft pool. Day 1 and day 2 of the draft are done the same day or same night, but they're separated into day 1 and day 2. Day 1 is for all the coaches who were eligible to keep their team but opted to go into the draft. Day 2 follows after that. All the coaches that were fired. Both days are rated in terms of score highest to lowest. And then day 2, you will have the coaches that were fired and then any newcomers to the league to get us back up to 134. So something interesting. You can take a bad team and you could have a really successful season, like crush your win goal, maybe crush your rival games, overachieve in conference play. It's possible to score over 100 points because you have season success and then you have participation that could net you more than 40, and you could net more than 20 here. And you could definitely use that to parlay into things. So you can score over 100, something to keep in mind. It's not always picking the best team available. Sometimes it's picking the best situations. Sometimes it's just playing in a conference with your friends, coaches that you enjoy playing against. To each their own, different ways to go about it. Do whatever you like. Coach reports, so just to show you what it looks like. So I played Army. I lost him. Haven't done this recap yet, but you see. I gave him 5s across the board, and then in the comments, GG, very nice run game variety. He had a really diverse run game. I haven't seen anything like it yet, so I just want to give him props on that. Good stuff, right? So when the season is done, you'll get to see the notes left by all the coaches. So I don't have any reason to grade him less than a 5. So far, I haven't had any reason to, and to be honest, if I did, I probably would mention it during gameplay and see if it course corrected. I wouldn't grade someone lower than 5 without at least bringing it up during the game, but so far I haven't had to because I'm fortunate that I've been able to play solid coaches so far. Good stuff. And then voting. I don't know where do I have it here? I actually have a tab open. I'll have to do one, maybe I'll do a video of my votes, but I did vote in the week 6 poll. So after block 3. And these are the guys I rated in the top 25. So you see UCF 25. You don't see the records. I'd have to show me actually doing a vote to see, but you can see the team, the name. It's pretty cool. You can see what you did, and also it shows that I did do it, so it's recorded. So that's kind of nice. But every weekend, the polls open to vote. Just got to make sure to do them. And then this has been a long-standing league. Dates back to the PS2. So I joined the farm, I believe, in season 7, and played out the season. And then when season 8 started, the guy that had Florida International quit, and I was at the top of the list at the time to join. So, and I went. You see, 4-8 in my first season. I still remember getting smacked by Virginia Tech, one of the most depressing games I ever played against. Imagine playing with a terrible Florida International team against Virginia Tech on the road. Still don't know why that coach scheduled that game. Maybe they were buddies, but oh man, that was a beating. But I've bounced around. Went to Central Florida, went to Mizzou. Yes, I'm a Nebraska fan and I coach Mizzou. Yes, I know. You probably could imagine why I'm a Nebraska fan. So remember what I said about trying to make sure you score high enough in the, making sure you have the season success and all that stuff. I'm very aware I wanted to get Nebraska. You see, I had him for a while. But in order to get Nebraska, I probably would have to help get the Nebraska coach fired. Sounds kind of messed up. What's one way of doing it? Coaching a rival team. Taking Missouri to try to beat Nebraska to cost them rivalry points in their coach contracts. Kind of messed up, but that's what you do. So 7-5, Iowa 7-5, Nebraska rival. Can't imagine why I picked them. Arkansas State went to the Sun Belt, had a solid season. Kansas State played against Nebraska because this is back when they were in the Big 12. And then I was able to get my hands on Nebraska. I had them for 6 seasons. And then ended up 7-5. This was the best 12-1. I believe, if I remember correctly, I lost the conference championship game to Noel Farrell. He had Texas. As close as I've ever came to winning or being able to play for a championship. It was a cool season, really magical, but ended bad. But we did win our bowl game. Got to play in a big bowl game, so that's cool. Then went from Nebraska to Fresno State. Yes, this is actually when I was at San Diego State. So yeah, I took their rival team. We don't have to talk about that. Then I went to Michigan for a couple seasons. Went to Kentucky. So I got to coach my second favorite team. USC was a disaster. And then Southern Miss, Tulsa, Miami. I wouldn't say it was a disaster, but it didn't go as well as I thought it might go. And then I ended up not playing in season 28. This is a personal thing, a lot of stuff going on that year. So I did miss that season, but I'm back for season 29. So, I mean, I've been in for a long time. I'm not an original, but I've been around for a while. You can see overall record sitting at 197 wins because I got that win against Ball State. None of the wins have been added because they won't be added till the end of the season. You see my season record, conference record, NDL Cup, bowl record, conference championship, all that good stuff. And it is good stuff. And then you can see on the website the games of the week based off of the rankings. Each conference, you can see articles posted, so you can go by team, you can go by conference, you can see league leaders and statistics, the wait list. If you ever are interested, let me know. I'll probably create a command in chat if you want to check it out. And then up here you have important events. So the date. So the next thing is August 23rd. The voting for Block 4 is going to open up, and then August 25th, which is coming up, you see it's the 20th. The next block, weeks 9 and 10, will open up. And then the Beefy NDL Cup, pretty cool, the Cup. Let me go back to Western Michigan for a sec, just so I can show you guys. So the Cup, group play. Randomized groups, you play in group play, and the top 2 teams advance. You see I lost all 3 Cup games. So yeah, Western Michigan hasn't exactly been a ton of fun in terms of wins so far, but top 2 teams advance, and then you go to where we have the knockout round. It was up here, so you can see it here. You have the standings, the future link, and the bracket. So good stuff. And it's all randomized. So I've always looked at it as a scrimmage, a chance to work with my team, maybe use different playbooks, just literally figuring out the team. To be honest, when you start out the year, I kind of would play some scrims so I can get comfortable with them. But also, I enjoy playing the cup games as soon as possible because I can mess around with them and see what works, what doesn't work, what kind of offensive line protection am I going to get? Do they block well? Can we get a pass rush with 4? Like trying out all these different things so when the season starts, I can actually kind of lock in and focus on that. You've got the Discord. Not going to open that up right now because I don't know what's up there. I don't want to have anything that's going to get me in trouble. But, and then you have stats, so you can sort by conference, you can sort overall, all that good stuff. Oh, it's a great league. Like I said, it's been around since the PS2, a great group of guys. 80 of the 134 teams are being coached by vets, someone that's been in the league for a decent amount of time, so it's really cool. Looking forward to spending some more time with this. You're definitely going to see more of it on the YouTube channel as I go along. Recaps of the game, so I've already done the game against Ball State. In order of the regular season was Army and then Akron, so you should see those recaps up soon. And maybe I'll do some previews for different things, or maybe do some things just looking around what's going on inside the MAC. We'll see. Thanks for watching the video. I said if you ever were curious what the NDL is, since I've been streaming it a couple of times, cup games, regular season games, here's your answer, your description. And it'll be a mainstay on the channel because we'll be playing at least 2 games a week for 3 seasons. So with college football back, NDL is back as well.